Welcome to the Praetorian Guard Quick Setup Training Course Part 2. We will resume where we last left off. End of Part 1, we had already set up the prefect services details, and we're now required to install our Tribune. So once again, we'll choose the Tribune, the computer where we wish to install our Tribune. For us, it will be on scram-pg serve, and we will install the Tribune by clicking here. This will start up the Install New Praetorian Guard Tribunes wizard. Simply click Next. Now, you can choose multiple computers that you'd like to install Tribunes on. For every Tribune that you install, you must have a license to run a Tribune. For the trial mode, you can install one Tribune. If you've licensed your product, you can install as many Tribunes as you have licensed. We'll simply click Next, as we've already selected PG Serve. If we chose the wrong computer, we can simply check a different computer here and check the proper one. Click Next. This screen is now prompting us for the user that will actually be utilized by the system to install this Tribune. Our choices are test the connection using the scram code jsmith, which is my user that I've logged in onto this box with. We can use the prefix credentials to access the selected computer, or we can specify a different Windows credential to access each selected computer below. Simply click Test after you've chosen the one you wish to utilize. For ease, we recommend that you are using the user that we've already added into the system, jsmith, for example, or whatever your username may be. In addition, the user that you utilize at this point must be an administrator on the machine on which you're about to install a Tribune. Typically, the user you're logged in would either be a domain admins or simply use the prefix credentials, which we know we've created as a domain admins. Click Test Connection. After you've clicked Test Connection, the system will test to ensure that the proper .NET framework is installed on the computer that is about to receive the Tribune, and that the connection test was successful. Simply click Next. Now you must choose the user under which this Tribune service will run. We've already keyed under the prefect service the Tribune service and password and domain that we wish to utilize. However, this can be changed at this point. If you did not do the prefect service settings that we did in training course number 1 for this, then you would have to manually key a user, a password, and a domain at this point. Once you key an item here, simply click the arrow to copy it down and click Next. Now we're being prompted for a description of this computer that will be running this Tribune. You can simply key in Tribune if you'd like, or leave it as none, whichever makes you happy, and click Next. We'll key Tribune. After you've clicked Next, the system will attempt to install the Tribune on the computer that you've assigned. We can see that the .network is correct, the Tribune has installed, and it has been successfully started. You can now click Next once again. We show that we have success, and we can finish and close the screen. Now we can notice after installing the Tribune that we have a Tribune populated under Praetorian Guard Tribunes, and it's the same computer as the one loaded under the prefect. However, notice PG Serve still appears up here at the top because this is a list of computers that have no Centurions installed. But over on the right, we can tell what services have been installed on here that are not Centurions. Now that we've set up our Tribune, we can go and click Manage Tribune Services to set up our default user that will be used for Centurions. Now that you come to the Tribune Services screen and take a look, you can see that we now have a populated Tribune server that is running. And down in the tab screen, we have matching tabs that match the prefect. Here you can do additional setup choices that trickle down to the different Centurions. The more advanced course that covers each of these features should be watched if you want more detail. As far as quick setup is concerned, we should not have to do anything in this screen at this time. Now that we've got our Tribune installed, we can move forward to organizations. move down to on the left and click on Manage Organizations. Once you've clicked on Manage Organizations, you can now click on Manage Companies. Once you've clicked on Manage Companies, you can see the companies that exist within the Praetorian Guard system. Praetorian Guard supports as many companies as you would like to create. Each company can have its own organizational structure, as well as different PCs and users. We're going to create a new company, which will be the name of Scramco. We'll simply click New Company. Once we've selected New Company, we can create the name of the company that we wish to create in the system, Scramco. If you wish a website, any of this additional information, feel free to key it in. In addition, on the Security tab, we can see who is an administrator of this system. We'll add J. Smith to this new company. And finally, under Organizational Tree, we need to create an organizational tree structure. These are just simply the icons that are available for you to use when creating your tree structure. For example, we could have divisions, and by clicking this drop-down box, these are all icons available to represent a division. Click the plus button to add it in. And then under each division we can have departments. And then we also choose the icon we wish to use for that department. And we'll click the plus. You can create as many of these organizational units as you would like. These organizational units are assigned when you create organizational tree structure, such as dependencies. Remember, this icon on this side is just simply an icon used within your screen, and you can change it at any time. Simply click Save, and your company should be created. Now we need to go to Manage Organizational Units. Under Manage Organizational Units, we can create our additional tree structure of our organization, such as the East Division, and underneath the East Division we could have different departments such as the Accounting Department, the Sales Department. Since we're doing the quick installation, we're doing a quick, simple department that we'll create, and we'll call it the Default Department, which we will use for all new items that are created, so that we know that items within this department need to be migrated to the appropriate new locations. Click on the company, assuming this is the company you wish to look at, and click New Organizational Unit. Within here now, you need to key the item that you wish to have all your default items created into. I simply put a Z at the beginning so that it's always sorted at the bottom, so I know how to find it quickly. You can do additional security and additional tabs here. For quick setup, all we need is a name and one organization, so we'll click Save and we're complete here. Next, we'll need to move to managing the computer groups. For more detail about all of these, please go and watch the computer training video for each one of these different screens that go into more detail about how they interrelate with the product. But as for quick setup, all we're trying to do is get you the basics so that you can quickly set up the product and start testing it for use in a trial situation or a small company. So for computer groups, we just simply need to make a new computer group, and here we're going to call this New Computers, so that we know this is new computers that have not been assigned to an appropriate group. And we choose the company and member computers. At this point we have no member computers because we have no Centurions installed. Click Save and we're complete. So resuming where we were, the items that we have to get the product working in the most basic mode, we must have the prefect set up with its default settings, and then install a Tribune service, and then we must set up our organization, a company, as well as organizational units underneath that company. We must have already created our one user that needs to access the system. We can add as many as we want, obviously, but for quick setup we need at least one, as well as manage computer groups, which deal with your IT infrastructure, such as you would break this down into servers and PCs, etc. So please watch the training video part number 3 for quick setup.